Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is Marvel Cinematic Universe Sundays. Again, this is just a uh, homage, a parody, I guess. We own no rights to any Marvel things. Disney, please don't sue me because I make $0 from YouTube, and that's fine. Marvel Cinematic Universe Sundays, or MCU Sundays for short, is where I play games with the open hearth community, and each month I'll choose one or two different supers related RPGs, and then we are all Kevin Feige's in that we get to fan cast whatever our characters that already exist in the MCU, or folks that create have been created for the comics, or brand new creations, a whole mix of it. Gather together, create those characters in whatever RPG system I've chosen, and tell a story. We do bop around in the timeline of MCU. This game will be taking place sometime after Age of Ultron. My preference, probably, if folks are cool with it, probably post Endgame, because I like the idea of a supers team when there really is no Avengers. So the game that we are playing, really interesting. It's from Groundhoggeth Games, who is also the creator of The Hood, a PBTA game that I quite love. It is a supers game about cinematic superhero action in the city, created by James Mullen. They built on the SRD for a different game called Lumen, Lumen. This is all on itch. The idea of Lumen, which is part of Above the Law, the game we're playing, is that is a tabletop RPG that is very console game slash RPG inspired. And then there's a big divide in my mind between tabletop RPG and computer RPG. This game tries to marry that, or ape some of the aspects of a console video game. So much so that it actually has drops. So we will find our way through utilizing the mechanics of drops without shiny glowing orbs appearing in the middle of our MCU fun. It's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. I am worried about it, but I trust these three folks quite a lot. Now, we talked a little bit before starting because I was inspired with the idea of an MCU series that is not in New York and not in LA. And after a bit of talk, Mark, genius that he is, said, why not Sokovia? Sokovia is a small country made up for Marvel, used in MCU, primarily featured in the Age of Ultron movie. It was a republic. It's a small country in Eastern Europe. The capital city is Novigrad, and it also inspired the Sokovian Accords because during Age of Ultron, first off, Hydra was taking advantage of Sokovia's numerous protests and offered superpowers to a pair of Maximoffs, Wanda and Pietro, who became Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch, and Pietro became Quicksilver of the MCU. Then Age of Ultron happened. Part of Sokovia was lifted up into the ground and then collapsed. Quicksilver was killed in the war to try to defeat Ultron. And ultimately, the Sokovian Accords were created to register superheroes, which then led to civil war in the MCU. So Sokovia is a really interesting place in the MCU. And I agreed to this only if everyone agreed that there is a statue of Quicksilver, because I don't know why, but that's really interesting to me. So the assumption is that, at least officially, all three of these heroes are authorized by the Sokovian government. They're registered, because why would you have the Sokovian Accords and Sokovia didn't go by them? Another fold, as I was glancing into stuff, Baron Zemo is a Sokovian baron. So if you, and again, There's no, you have to know all this stuff. Don't worry about it. I just get excited about it. Baron Zemo was featured in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's an enemy of Wakanda. He hates all superheroes. So chances are he doesn't like you guys, even though you are representing his home country. I think that's all of my blathering at the beginning, because now let's get to the really exciting part, which is where everybody introduces themselves and tells us a bit about their character. I'm going to start with Paul. Paul showed up to the Zoom call with his character name already part. I mean, he was all on it, so I'm very excited. Paul, if you could introduce yourself to us and tell us a bit about your character.
Hello, I'm Paul, going by the pronouns he, him, and the character I've chosen to play in this awesome MCU adventure is a character called Takedown, also he, him. Takedown is or was a standard Sokovian soldier who basically, when the part of Sokovia fell, he was in an underground bunker, didn't do too well, and an ensuing accident. He's had to be repaired by the government as part of his rehabilitation. He has gained some minor powers and now attempts to protect Novigrad from Hydra threats or any threat that attempts to destabilize the city.
It's awesome. And the picture that Paul has chosen, he and I had a moment. He chose the picture of Overkill from The Tick. Overkill's an incredible character. The Tick was an amazing show. I'm just gonna imagine that like voice modulator whenever you are kicking ass and taking names. Paul as Takedown. Thank you so much. Next up is Mona, returning from our awesome two-shot of Swing back to MCU Sundays. Welcome back, Mona. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about this character.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm Mona, she, her, and I'm playing Sarah, also she, her. So she's a character from the comic. So the quick version is actually it's kind of a canon wielding, like Marvel try to like merge like the character Angela from Spawn into the Marvel universe. So they made up this whole like extra, like one of the nine realm is like the heaven of angels, and like all the angels are like female, and like the male angels are like I don't know, they are like underground slaves or some shit. And then like Angela was raised as an angel, and then she met like Sarah, who is like assigned male at birth, and then like basically Angela ran away with Sarah and help her transition, and then they go on to have adventures together. And then it turns out that Angela is actually Odin's daughter, and she is Asgardian, and there are a lot of weird stuff happening. I think there was also this really weird bit because it's part of like the secret invasion, but like there was also like the 1602 bit where like the 1602 version of Angela and Sarah somehow has some connection with like the modern. I actually have no idea anyway.
Let's not forget that there is a mini series where Angela kicks Hela's ass and takes over Hell. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's like the last like the last time I remember seeing this character where she goes to hell and beat Hela and like to get Sarah back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the character of Sarah. Mona, I can't wait to see you bring her to this game. I think Sarah's really interesting. She's extremely well written, super clever and witty, and I like it. So that's awesome. And you're playing an arcane, which means mechanically that you get to do all kinds of wild stuff. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I just think this is probably the closest, like, because the comic isn't actually clear about her powers, but she is a sorcerer, so I figured, yeah.
Yeah, good call. I like it. Excellent. And last but certainly not least is is Mark. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
That's me. I'm Mark. I go by he or them, and I will be playing Leshy, who is a mutant in the MCU. The original, I think Leshies are a thing in there in the comics, but I don't know. I just picked the name because it was fun. I think it's also in The Witcher. Anyway, Leshy is a mutant. Probably grew up in a town somewhere in Sokovia, and when the plant and animal powers started manifesting, took off and lived in the woods for a while, and then was somehow recruited into this group, and here we are.
It's awesome. When I saw Leshy and the powers, it made me think there's actually a Monster Heart skin called the Leshy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and very like plant power stuff. So super cool. There's got to be something awesomely folkloric about it that I don't know. Sweet.
It's a Slavic folk thing. Yeah.
I'm going to circle back around and just ask some questions about some of the character creation stuff. Also, you guys are an established team. You're not meeting in a superhero bar and looking on the board to get a job. I'm interested in the idea that you're a superhero team that has been the Sokovia. You've registered with Sokovia. They bestowed limited authority upon you for law enforcement. Like you are defenders of the city. I know this could cause a huge stop and play, but I would love for you guys to come up with a name for your team. I know it takes forever. Oh, it's an inscription, as I always try to say the inscription game. I didn't know that. That's awesome. That is a game that is far too mean for me to actively enjoy. My son adores. I'm just like, but I don't want to hurt the animals. Oh, you're muted, Mark. I'd see you reacting. But great game, though. Super atmospheric. Cool. So yes, if anyone has team names, you guys can just discuss it in chat. We'll bring it up when it is appropriate. I think you have a headquarters somewhere in the capital city, which Rich now has to go look up again. Novigrad. Novigrad. Okay, I gotta write that down. Gotta write it down somewhere. I'm gonna put it in the NPCs. I'm just gonna. No, right here. Novigrad. So in Novigrad is where your team is located. Now, let me ask this question. Do you imagine you guys are the first three? Like you're the first trinity of team? Are you, because I imagine this is pretty new. Like this is post-end game. The Avengers are gone. We've got some registered superheroes. Let's put them together as a team. It's a public-facing team so the people of Sokovia feel safe. Do you think it's just you three? I'm perfectly okay if it's just the three of you. I just want to make sure that I had a like idea or scope. If 3, 5, 7, definitely no more than 7.
Yeah, maybe we're the only like official team, but there's other folks that are starting to become.
Oh my gosh, is there prevalent. Like Nova Guardians? Yeah, Nova
Guardians. Yeah,
Nova Guardians for Novigrad. That's too much. I have to do
so good.
It's so good. And then when the Nova Corps show up, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we thought." No. I think there's like a new Nova team that's maybe in training at some point, but you guys don't have to deal with them yet. But at some point, if this game were to go on, I would annoy you by having a bunch of young teenagers show up. We're like, we're just doing stuff. Okay, that's amazing. Paul, for Takedown, this is a question you have. You've got your partner, Dr. Can you say that name for me? I just want to make sure.
Dr. Momchil Topolowski.
Okay, Topolowski or Topolsky?
Topolsky. Let's go Topolsky. I like Topolsky.
Okay, cool. And is that like romantic partner or partner? I just want to make sure I understand.
Romantic partner. She helped rebuild me.
Oh, that's
So, yeah.
awesome. And somehow fell in love with. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Are you guys just romantically linked? Are you married? I don't care. Either answer is perfectly interesting to me. I'm just
I think romantically linked
nice.
works well.
Nice. And then you have a government handler, Dr. Dobrin Semenov. Is that how you would say
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Dobrin Semenov.
And what is that relationship like?
He is the boss of Monchil Toplowski, and yeah, he was the one that was set up by the Sokovian government to basically generate some super soldiers in a Sokovian sort of method. So it's nothing like the super soldier serum. It's more of a sort of cybernetic enhancement thing. So he is my handler.
Awesome. I mean, he's got to be proud of Takedown, right? You're on the team. You are the most successful public facing part of this program.
He's very proud of what he's created for Sokovia. I think he's now starting to think that Takedown maybe not won't follow exactly his orders all the time, so he's a bit wary of the route Takedown may take, and I think that links in quite well with the second trope, which is basically sometimes my powers can act a bit wild. So I think he's not too sure exactly all these cybernetic enhancements he's put in, how they're going to work out.
Awesome. I love that. That's now you work at the Sokovia Security Department. I guess you're like technically that's your employer, but
the
you're part of the
SSD.
team. I love that. That's very cool. Very cool. Excellent. That's great. That's a really good setup. So let's move over to Sarah. So you took Angela as your lover. I am imagining that Angela's got a lot going on and probably will only appear like in dream sequences or something. Are we okay with that, Mona? I want to make sure.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to imagine. I'm guessing like if we are putting Angela in the MCU, she's probably somewhere with the new Asgard because she is technically Asgardian, and like she ends up to be on good enough terms with them, if I recall correctly. So I think she's with the new Asgardians.
Oh, that's great. That is awesome. I like that.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is that basically because I'm just picking up on like the end of the like Queen of Hell, like comic book where they leave Hell and then in the comic they ended up settled down in New York before like they went off to space. But I'm imagining like after the Chitauri invasion, they were all like, there are too many aliens in New York. It's not like it's too much work. And then they are like, where is there a place on Earth we can move to that won't be invaded by aliens? And then Sarah was like, oh, hey, what about Sokovia? And Angela was like, that place was literally blew up by a robot. And Sarah was like, that's right. What's the chance that it will happen again? Right? And so they decided to move to Sokovia.
Okay. That's great. Now tell me a bit about your friends, the Ravagers.
No, so I just saw this on the Marvel wiki page, but apparently after like the Queen of Hell storyline, sometime after that, Sarah joined Yondu's Ravagers, and they were like helping. Yeah, sorry about it. Yeah, they were like helping some refugees, like some alien refugees. So I'm reading of that. I think like after like with Angela busy with like the new Asgard, I think there was a time where like I was like I don't know, somehow I got involved with the like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the like cosmic side, maybe because like Thor was involved with them too, right? So I think there are some like I don't know, some events where like I also got involved.
Okay. I actually don't like Marvel Ravagers. I don't know if I know those characters. Let me look it up.
No, I
I'm
think
sure.
they are just Yondu's like Yondu's team.
Yeah, from Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
They
from
were like
Guardians?
yeah, they were the people who kind of raised Star Lord.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you. All right. Wow, that's hilarious. Okay. Some reason that name just didn't click, but yeah, the
Yeah,
Ravagers.
no,
Okay.
because I don't think the name come up a lot in the movies.
Yeah, Yondu's people. Okay.
Yeah, because the movie usually just focus on Yondu and they don't mention the Ravagers a whole lot. But yeah,
I remember them talking about like wasn't it the Ravager code or something? Yeah.
yeah.
Stallone was the one who kicked Yondu out of the Ravagers. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me be slow and catch up. All right. So you have some friends who are the Ravagers. That is wild. Your familiar is Thori. Talk to me about your familiar. What is this?
Yes, Sorry is also from the comic. He's a dog who is I think he's the son of one of the gods of Sapiens, maybe Loki. I don't quite remember, but yeah, it's like something they pick up in hell, like yeah, like I think Sorry tried to bite Angela and then they beat him up and then he just kind of become the dog.
That's right. I remember when they like yeah, they retired to kind of retired from superheroing for like a whole issue and oh yeah, I see
Yeah, so like
Thor's
all three like
oh
are
yeah.
based on right Angela and like Sorry and Leah is like the younger
I
girl
remember
they
Leah.
meet in hell. Yeah, I think she's also like the child or like they all have like really like they all have really badass backgrounds. I just can't remember what they are.
Yeah. Leah was one of the Hela's servants who
Yeah,
turned on him.
yeah.
She's surly, slightly goth girl. I love it. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
Cool.
I from the end of the comic I just get a very like it's two women with an adopted daughter and a dog kind of situation. So yeah.
Fun. I like it a lot. That's great. Let's jump over here to Leshy and let's talk about your connections. So
Yeah.
you have a connection to where you after you turned, where you grew up.
Yeah. Hoya Forest. It's a real forest in Romania, but I don't know where it is. Sokovia is just north of Romania, so I figure it's just not too far outside of Novigrad, just where I could like go and hang out when I needed to, which was most of the time. I also hooked up Dr. Semenov as my doctor in my connections, and
Perfect.
it might be fun if they were the one that assemble the team or however they want to do that. I
Yeah.
have vague ideas for my dependent and friend turned enemy, but if you're let those come in play.
Yeah. I appreciate you doing the Semenov connection. That will be Semenoval to our. No, I was trying to do a Seminole, but it didn't go anywhere. So I'll just leave it lying on the floor unused.
I think
Fantastic.
Leshy is like in the initial conception is like, oh, it was like a kid that went after the forest and he's like whatever. But I think he was of mutant power coming of age when his powers develop, but I think that was a while ago. I think he's old, like old. So we'll see how that comes up.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Cool. Good. I have a pretty decent handle on the people that everyone connects to. All right. So, let's start off in the middle of some action. I think this happened in downtown Novigrad. The first thing that we see is opening scene. There is a bunch of obviously not English words on the side of a security truck, like a Wells Fargo or some kind of secured truck that would travel in this city, perhaps taking money from a bank somewhere or somewhere to a bank. And there's a car that pulls up behind it and starts to nudge it off the road. During the ensuing attempted heist, the 5 or 6 armed guys who were trying to take down these security guards, some kind of blur happens, and every one of those 5 guys are lying on the ground in pools of blood. That's our establishing, like, as the credits roll thing. And one of the security guards has his taser, and he's just looking at the mangled messes that these robbers were. We cut to the 3 of you with a huge, expensive looking screen showing this action. And we'll have Dr. Semenov, and Dr. Semenov is... We went with he, him for Dr. Semenov? Okay, just checking. Dr. Semenov says, obviously, this was someone who had superpowers. Can you play it back again and slow down? And we have a few different phones that we've tried to tie together from people who are trying to, broadcast, stream live what was happening. We tied in a few ATM cameras, and then we have a traffic as well. We tried to piece this together to slow things down. It moves so fast that we've had to piece together. And what you see is several just half images of someone who... I have a picture. Let me share the picture with you. Someone who looks... Come on. Don't be mean. There we go. Someone who in one still image, even in a still image, has a blur motion to them, but they look like this. Can everybody see? Person in a very obvious costume, has something like some kind of face shield over the top of their head, and it looks like one man murdered all 5 of these attempted bank robbers. So Dr. Simonov says, this of course was not one of the authorized members of the Novigardians. You need to find who this person is. They are a menace. They cannot take the law into their own hands. And he pauses and he looks over at you, take down for just a moment to make sure that that statement is clear to you.
Indeed, Doctor. He has taken the law into his own hands. Those robbers needed justice, but not death.
Correct. Any punishment they receive should come from Sokovian law, not from some vigilante. I need you to find this blur and bring him to justice. So, because this is an action-oriented game, we are not now going to go into some long, protracted search for the speedster. I want Leshy. What is the plan that works, that lures out this speedster into the open so that you guys can fight against him?
So he took out the guys who were robbing the truck, right?
Mm-hmm. Just straight up murdered them and left everything behind.
Maybe we could stage another robbery, like get Semenoff to get us an empty truck with the right markings and stuff, and then we pretend.
Ooh, do we see Sarah driving it, and she's got the traditional MCU black hat, which is all you need to not be known as the hero that you are.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for Captain America, so it'll work for y'all. It's fine.
Maybe just add Clark Kent glasses.
Clark Kent glasses on Sarah's face. That's awesome. Oh, are you cool, Mona, if Sarah is the driver of said Wells Fargo truck?
Yeah, sure.
Or Brinks. Brinks is another security truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ah, Paul, turn your camera off and back on. Okay, forgot you. Got all fuzzy. It does that to me too sometimes too, my little Logitech. Cool. So we see Sarah in the Brinks truck heading out just moments before. Oh yeah. Who's going to rob it? Like, you have to have a robber. So how's that set up? Or do you have some other Sokovian agents who are posing as thieves? Or
I thought that was going to be us.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. That's what I'm
cool with takedown. Yeah.
So what do we see? Do we see takedown on like a motorcycle riding up, or is there something else that you imagine?
No. I think an all black motorcycle, sort of quite Punisher style. You know, it's not clicking over on every single sort of cylinder. It's got that chuk 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 chuk. But this thing's a beast, and he's got his full mask on, and he's basically. Again, it's MCU. You can't, from a motorbike, you can't knock a delivery truck over. But he's trying to force this delivery truck to the side of the road.
That's awesome.
With this massive motorbike.
That is perfect. And how is Leshy coming onto the scene?
I feel like we have coordinated. Or would it be cool if I was on the back of the cycle? Yeah, and like have like a an MP5 or something slung over my back that like I don't use, but just for looks.
Cool. So just so we're clear, the intent is to not look like superpower beings
right
doing this hit. Okay, fantastic. There is one thing that I've added to our character keeper on the left hand in column A called collateral. So collateral is a thing that you as PCs can draw upon instead of Maxim to give you dice, but it is actively harming, like it's causing collateral damage to your city. You guys are defenders of the city. So you have that option. It can cause you, it likely will cause fallout to you. I, as the GM, can do, as part of mixed successes and the like, I can do collateral damage as well as part of the effects of what is happening. And then once a fight sequence is done, we do fallout, and part of the fallout is resolving that collateral damage and how it impacts you guys. So I want to stick that out there because I realize that that stat is meaningful enough to where I should probably represent it so you guys can all see it. And I'm going to change the font because I'm a dork like that. So now it is a settle 0 at the start. Good. Awesome. So Sarah, you're driving and they're coming up in the motorcycle. And that's when you see up ahead, Sarah, you see this like something pop on the horizon. And by the time you register it, it's already, you feel the breeze of it sweeping past you. Takedown, and Leshy, the front wheel of your bike just boom, it explodes. Like they say, big rumbling thing, it explodes, and you're already starting to have some handling. Is this thing, whatever he did, he just did a drive-by attack or run-by attack and just try to take out the motorcycle. Take down, what do we see you do in reaction to that? You want to try to recover it? Do you just lay her down? What's the plan?
I'd like to do, actually, can I kick the default it over to Leshy? Just
Oh,
I'm going to
sure.
put the bike down, Leshy, but if you want to leap off or something, I'm more than happy that you take that side of it first. And yeah, I'm just going to lay the bike down and skid it sort of along the roadway. But if Leshy wants to jump off and do something onto the truck or say, I'm more than happy that Leshy takes that.
Yeah, we'll break those apart. I want to start with one simple, like hopefully easy to define roll with takedown. You're going to lay down the bike and try to not take a whole lot of damage as a result. So let's build a roll. The way that this game works is that you take an action, it requires a roll. Action rolls in Above the Law use a pool of 6-sided dice. So I'm going to screen share and we'll talk about this as well. We do have a rolling room. I will share it in chat, but it is this bad boy. Boop. I'll bring up chat. There you guys go. It's also linked in our safety enroller tab. So this is what you're looking for. You roll a bunch of dice, and the highest result is what you compare against this. There are 3 possible results: failure, mixed success, and success. To create a pool, you determine how you're acting. Resolve attribute is acting forcefully or powerfully. Urgency is acting quickly or instantly. And balance is acting carefully or cautiously. What is takedown's approach? Because I could see you feeling like any one of these 3 could be an option. So what are you interested in and how you do this?
I think because it's, the wheels exploded, I've got to act dead quickly. I've got to lie it down. So let's go for urgency.
Okay, so you need to act quickly or instantly. We look at your urgency. It's epic. Ooh, delightful. Now, I'm going to say that the threat for this is pretty basic. Like regular folks who have been trained on a motorcycle know how to lay their bike down in a sudden blowout situation. So we ask some questions. You start with 2d6 and it's adjusted up or down by each step. So each step, your attribute is above the target. So you are 2 steps above the target. You're going to add sorry, I know you're British, so you're probably naturally used to saying dice for a single die, but it pisses me off. So I'm changing it. I thought I caught all the others, but anyway. All right, so your attribute is 2 dice above, so you're going to add 2 dice to your pool. You're now at 4 die. And then each step is below, you're not below target. Awesome. So you're going to roll 4d6 looking for 5s or 6s. 2 ways you can do this. You could just type 5d6 here, or if you want to get fancy, you can add 5 of these bad boys to your roll, and you can even name it. Blah, 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 and then it will show up as the roll. I think you can name it here too. Like you could go 5d6 as motorcycle. I think that'll work. Pretty sure it will.
Okay. I need to flick out of. I need to see my screen.
I'll stop sharing.
So epic. Was I 2 above?
You were. So you're going to roll a total of 4 dice. You start with 2. You're 2 above, so you get 4 dice.
46. Okay, here. Let's
now,
see what we get.
You can. Yeah, 4 dice is great. You can also spend maxim 1 for 1 or collateral 1 for 1 to get you more dice if ever you need. But with 4 dice, you're great.
Yeah. So I rolled 4 dice. I got a 5, a 2, a 4, and a 3 for the people at home that are watching. So one of them is in that top bracket.
Amazing. So the top bracket is you get what you want. Success, you do exactly what you set to do. You set that thing out and you even look cool. Like you can set yourself up for whatever this speedster is doing coming back. Let's see what Leshy is doing. And then I'll check in with Sarah. So Leshy, Takedown's taking this bike down.
Yeah. And the speedster is not in anywhere nearby, right?
Correct. Like they have zipped past and they're probably going to come back again.
Okay. Yeah, I have I have a super senses that lets me sense everything in sight. So if he's in any visual range, I like can commune with plants and animals and stuff, and like get a beat on where he is. But if he's not here, I think this is the time to jump off the bike. And as I'm doing that, transform into my beast form.
Eat. What does your beast form look like?
I think it's not an animal. I think it is. I think normally he's like kind of a craggled, kind of long, crazy white hair. But when he like flips off the bike and does the beast form, it's more like a more tree swamp thing. So
neat.
like not Groot, but but like a tree guy or a big like vegetable guy.
It sounds amazing.
Vines and whatnot. Yeah.
Cool.
And I have to spend a maxim to do that, it looks like.
Yes. You spend when your hero suffers harm, it reduces your maxim. You can spend maxim to trigger the powers listed on your style.
Sweet.
So yes.
And in beast form, I can gain 1 shield. I'm not sure where to put that. And I can swap 2 of my attribute ratings for this round. So I'm going to swap urgency and resolve. So I get a little speed boost there.
Note to self, Rich may need to add something for your drops, like the shield and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just put it below my stuff there.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. I will find a place to stick that on the character keeper going forward.
Yeah, and do the superhero land right where we're at, and like the vines kind of like spread out on the ground and come back up.
All right, Sarah, the attack is happening. This speedster has zipped past you guys, but you know they're going to come back. What is Sarah doing?
Yeah. So I guess I was doing a bit of like overacting. I was like, oh no, robbers! What will I do? The cops will never get here in time. And then I saw like the others are already engaging them, and I was like, oh well, I guess that wasn't necessary. And then I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to spend a maximum.
Okay.
I'm going to choose a style which is frost, and then I'm going to spend another one. Basically, I want to attack the speedster with blizzard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I just realized I never put a point for you guys, a place in the character keeper for you guys to put what your maxim was about. I'm going to adjust that now. Okay, that sounds fantastic. So you're activating. Are you choosing a style now?
Yeah. So I think I spend 1 to choose a style, 1 to pick up a power, and then 1 to unlock a power, and then 1 to actually use it.
Woof, that's expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Leshy, with your super senses, you can hear the pounding of the pavement. And I'm going to be a dick. I'm adding 1 damage to the collateral right now from this speedster, building up power because he sees ahead. Oh, there's a super powered person here. Oh yeah, I gotta turn it on. So boom, 1 collateral. Leshy, you have a chance to react here. What do you want to do?
And so Sarah didn't get off her blizzard, right?
Oh, good question. I guess a blizzard we should get that off. Yeah. What's thank you for that, Mark. I appreciate it. So let's have you perform your action to activate your power, which is the blizzard. So all foes in shot range are tagged with frozen. They cannot move. Ooh. So you're putting that. All right. Let's talk about it for just a second. We do have like there is traffic. This is in the middle of the downtown area. Unless you guys set it up somewhere farther away, oh, it makes sense to have less people around.
Industrial area or something.
Yeah, we'll say it's an industrial area. Cool. All right. So this doesn't harm folks, although I would do collateral damage if it did. So you're trying to time it to where this blizzard is going to hit the speedster when they come back in, correct?
Yeah, preferably, but I think if we can stop, then I think let's just. Yeah, I think I just want to freeze them so like we can I don't know, maybe capture them.
Sure. Okay. So then let's have you activate this power. You're taking an action. Let's determine how you're acting on the roll. Are you being resolute, urgent, or balanced? Right now, I think it's hard to talk about fighting a speedster that isn't acting quickly or instantly, but you are doing something in an area of effect. So, what is your thought on which attribute is brought in here? And if you check in the rules section, there's on column A, starting around row 20, it talks about those attributes brought into a role. I feel like resolve here is a little more applicable for a blizzard. Do you agree, Mona? I can't hear you, Mona. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe it's balanced because like I'm trying to time it and like
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most like magic key of the attributes because like it's about precision and time and like
Okay. With that being an epic rating for you, you would get 4 dice. You are spending a maxim in order to activate the power. But now you can roll 4d6. And you're looking for 5s or 6s.
I got a 5.
Why, you sure did. Nice, nice. Okay. So you drop this blizzard. Is it like a ball cyclone kind of blizzard that just magically comes up? Does it come out of Sarah's hands? I mean, I imagine you're doing it past Leshy and Takedown back towards where the speedster would be coming back, right?
Yeah. I actually imagine it's kind of like Doctor Strange mimicking like Iceman. So like there's like magical circle in my hands, but instead of like energy, it's shooting out like the like Bobby Drake's ice ray or something like that.
Okay, cool. I like it. Boom, you throw out this blizzard. The speedster, he's now going to get the tag of frozen.
Yeah.
Can't move from their spot, but shielded and lose this tag when the shield is broken. Yeah, so he runs right in. You timed it just perfectly. And boom, he's part of this icicle sculpture. Now, the moment you break the shield, he will be able to move again. But this gives you guys a moment. Leshy, you were ready, ready for action. Then all of a sudden, you see this speedster get frozen up. What do you do? Oh, you're talking on mute, Mark.
So our intention is to just stop him or bring him in.
Bring him in. That's what
Bring him in.
Dr. Simmerhoff said.
Cool. Huh. I'm not sure what to do with the frozen guy now.
Try to
Takedown. Do you have
wrap
any?
him.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I
say
have
this
the
blizzard causes 1 collateral damage because it's a whole
Cool.
ass blizzard.
Yeah. Sarah, when he's frozen in the ice, is he like frozen in like a block of ice, or is he just frozen himself?
I think he's just frozen himself.
Cool. Yeah. Then I'll definitely use the plant growth spend a maximum for that, and just like wrap him up in vines, and maybe even like lift him off the ground a little bit so that he
Nice.
can't get his little footsies out in case something happens.
Sweet. I think this one's going to be a basic action. I do want to put dice to it, most just so we get in the pattern of seeing die rolls. Because
Yeah.
if you fussed at me, I would be like, okay, fine, you do the thing because he's frozen. But I want to see how well you have him entangled.
Mhm.
So you're spending that maxim to
Yep.
use your plant growth to entangle, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. I like that. Then let's.
Sounds like it's gonna be resolve.
Yeah, you're definitely acting forcefully or powerfully.
Cool.
And your resolve rating,
Is heroic.
heroic. This is a basic action because he's frozen. So you get to roll 3 dice. Do you want to burn a little bit of collateral or spend a maxim to get yourself some more dice? There are teamwork moves.
Yeah.
There are ways to do teamwork in this game as well.
I think I'll just roll it straight up and see what happens.
Okay, so 3 dice. You're looking for 5s or 6s.
There's a 5. There we go.
Oh, I saw those 2 2s. I was getting
I
excited.
know.
But there is a 5. Okay, fantastic. Leshy lashes a bunch of vines around, and it's perfectly powerful. Now, you got him lifted up at this point. Things seem great from Leshy and Paul. Paul, sorry for a second. There's something for takedown, but things seem great for Leshy. You have hold of this speedster still frozen. They are trying to vibrate to get out of it. You can feel that through the vines and from your senses. Leshy, you also hear something coming quickly, not speedster quickly, but quickly. Takedown. You laid the bike down, pop back up. You see the blizzard. Dang, these people all move so fast. But then there's a moment where we cinematically we see the sun over Sokovia, and then there's this like silhouette that jumps in. There's a woman who has leapt through the air. She had to have leapt from like a block away, and she is coming down towards Leshy to like slam into him, to do him harm. You think it sure looks like. What do you wish to do?
I'd like to activate my Chameleon Tech suit and stealth.
Nice. You can totally spin the maxim to activate your suit and be stealth. She won't see you. By doing that, though, you're allowing her, like, she's going to hit Leshy.
Yeah, well, I think Leshy's pretty
tough.
hard. Yeah, Leshy's tough. Leshy can take it. Yeah, no blood's been drawn yet. I'm confident in our team. Nobody needs saving yet. So yeah, I'm just going to blend into the background.
Okay.
If this works the same as other what's it
Limit
called
games?
Yeah. Actions powers don't take actions. They're just like a thing that happens. I don't know if it might be different here, but
no, that okay, that's cool.
So do you still have to roll for them, or?
No, I think you're right. The way this is phrased, you spend a maximum and it just happens.
Oh,
So I
okay.
guess-
Well, so
Yeah.
you can basically stack a few things if you wish, because stealth is quite passive. I don't think there's a role to stealth. It just says I gain the tag hidden.
Yeah. And technically, to look at that based off Mark, I think you're absolutely right. You didn't have to roll to tag with trapped. You just spent the maxim.
Cool. It worked out.
And Sarah, you didn't have to roll for blizzard, so that's cool. That makes things faster. That's good to know. Thank you for helping. That was helpful. Sorry. Let's swing back
if it's stackable, then. So yeah, I will stealth away. I will draw my trank pistol, and I will take a shot at whatever's incoming at Leshy. Then.
Sweet, take a shot. That's amazing. I can't wait to see this. And you're taking a shot with just one of your
well, it'll be a
utilities,
surprise
or-
attack, so I'm going to spend a point of Maxim.
Spend 2 harm on any foe in step. It sounds cause you to lose your hidden tag. Oh, that's awesome. That's
Now,
so cool.
does this so there's a utility called Jab, which is your balance rolls inflict +1 harm. Now, this is a gun, so it would fall under balance, as in a method to it attack. It's a ranged weapon. So does that then go up to 3 harm?
I think so. Yeah.
But I mean, I still have to hit them.
Yeah, technically, Jab says you gotta do a balance roll. Surprise attack says you just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're saying abilities you don't roll for, or are we saying? I mean, I understand that stealth I wouldn't roll for because it only affects me.
Yeah, and in other Lumen games, they just go off and it's like, oh, like you do this damage, and
Yeah,
that
and
just
if you read the way they're written, it seems to ape the style that Mark's talking about. I just screwed it up by asking for rolls because
Yeah.
No, that's
games.
fine. So I won't combine it with Jab then. I'll just do
Okay.
a surprise attack.
Man, that's awesome. So you just like camo out and then and you hit this lady. She blocks one of the 2 with her scimitars, but the other one hits her, and we see like a little squib of blood, like she's hurt. It's not super gory because we have a line on that. It's just a thing. And she's gonna land and slash Leshy's vines. So boom, that's the thing she does. She slashes Leshy's vines and will be coming for an attack on Leshy. Sarah, there are now 2 combatants. One that you froze up, who's trying to get out, and another who has just jumped into free the other person. This is a woman who stands just barely shy of 6 feet tall. Just long black hair. She's quite muscular, like you can see it in her shoulders mostly. And she has a pair of these weird scimitars that let out a low hum. What do you do, Sarah?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just going to mechanically, I'm just going to do a basic attack, like use my magic to, I don't know, throw icicle at them or something.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep spending maximum because
you run out and it's bad. Yeah, that's smart.
I think this is where the utility sort of picks come in.
Yeah, if I'm remembering right, I think you choose resolve, urgency, or balance depending on this, like the style of your attack. So if you're attacking quickly, that's urgency. If you're trying to hit something precisely, that's balanced, whether you're using a gun or a fist or whatever. And I think, again, if I can't find it for this game, but I think basic attacks always do like 1 damage and then they're modified by whatever other things.
Yeah. I'm going to use balance again because like I think that's the most magic-y thing. So yeah, I got a 5, so that's 1 harm, right?
Yes. And
yeah, so I think I fire like, I don't know, a wave of ice or something at her, and I was saying, hey, in case you haven't noticed, this isn't actually a robbery, so if you are here to help, you can stop.
Nice. That's cool. I like that. So you throw some ice, and she is unable to block all of the ice. She also has um a headpiece that I wanted to show. So give me a sec, and I'll drop in just so you guys can see it. Not that it matters for you attacking. I just think it looks cool. Really, that's it. That's all. I just think it looks cool. So. This is the woman that you just said, "Hey, idiot! We're not actually. This is an actual robbery." And yeah, she blocks one of the icicles. Another hits her, and you see a bit of ice start to form across her chest. She has these golden gauntlets that she uses along with her two scimitars, and I'm not going to try to do a heavily accented, but it's definitely not a Sokovian accent. She speaks in English. And she says, "And you are supervillains." That's her whole logic. And then she's gonna launch forward. Leshy, the speedster, has vibrated to the point where now they spent an action and they've removed Frozen from themselves. I'm just going to drop in to have a little more video game talk because I think it makes Lumen conversation a little easier.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, he drops to the ground and he's now going to zoom up and try to attack you because you can make him not run. What do you wish to do about that?
If he's just dropped, I think I'm gonna run in and just do a he doesn't have a shield or anything, right? Yeah.
He does not.
Cool. I think I'm gonna do just a fast attack with like the wooden spines that come out of my arms.
Awesome. And
I
you've
think that's
already
gonna be urgency.
Yeah, I think that's just an urgency attack.
Yeah, that's just like trying
to
to get him at all because I know he's fast.
Now he is epic level. Now you're facing off, right? So you're not going against the environment and the like or timing it. Yeah. He is epic. You are epic. So this is a straight 2D roll. You want to use some collateral? You want to use collateral to boost yourself up?
Ooh, and so is that adding more collateral damage, or is that
what you do? Is you basically say, I'm willing to gain collateral damage. Collateral will go up the rating.
Nice.
But you get those dice for your roll.
Nice. Yeah, let's use some collateral. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do one of those.
All right.
I think what that looks like is, as I see him drop it down and I come at him with like the spines that come out of my forearms there. And as that happens, stuff also like branches also come out of the ground and try to like get him like that. So I'm just like throwing sharp wood at him from everywhere, and it like breaks through the asphalt and does some of that.
That's awesome. I love that. That's cool. So, I think like you guys are in an industrial area, but let's say it's like an overpass, right? We got a little like some levels of a bit of danger, right? And we see a bit of the overpass, like you poked a hole in it one thing, just a little bit. Okay, awesome. Let's have you do it. 3 dice.
3 dice. There's a 6.
Oof, sweet. Fail the speedster.
+1 harm on urgency rolls.
So that is a total of 2 harm to him.
I think so, yeah.
At this point, the warrior woman has received 2 harm from Sarah's attack, and the speedster that someone called a blur has received now 2 harm from Leshy. That is significant, but they are not quitters. So Takedown, from your vantage point as a camouflage combatant, you could easily take a pot shot on either of them.
I'm going to stay on target. Basically the Gauntleteer, dead or alive, she's coming with us. So I'm going to spend a point of Maxim and unleash another surprise attack. So that's instant 2 points of damage.
Jeez. Man, that's amazing. It's just like pop, pop, and boom, you hit her. I think like one of the shots glances across that golden headpiece that she has, but but you see a trickle of blood, and she staggers for a minute. That's 4 harm that she's taken at this point. So that is a lot. And she's going to be looking around, her eye squinting from the blood, and her one eye trying to train to find you as she staggers back. Sarah, the speedster is now free and he's moving. At this point, he's come up behind Leshy and is about to put some harm on him after getting hurt. That's right, you've done just now that you just hit Blair. That was the first damage he took because he got frozen, but that didn't actually do harm. Okay, cool. I got my accounting right. Sarah, what do you want to do about this speedster, or do you want to try to finish off that warrior woman?
Yeah, I am going to spend 2 maximum to use the actual icicle blast. So I'm going to inflict 2 harm on the warrior woman, and if they are defeated, I can also inflict 1 harm on all foes in reach of them.
Oh wow! So wait, if it's an area effect though, wouldn't it bring in everybody else, or?
It just say all foes.
Oh, all foes. Okay, awesome. All foes and shot are tagged with frozen. Right? You were talking Blizzard again?
Icicle blast.
Icicle blast. Sorry. On a foe in shot, if they're defeated, 1 harm on all foes. Yeah. So you're saying if going up to 6 total harm boxes would take down Warrior Woman, you then would do 1 harm also to the Blur. Yeah, I like that. That's interesting to me. Yeah. So what is the group of icicle shards, the blast that you send out that takes out this warrior woman, or seems to knock her down? What does that look like?
Yeah, I actually think it's an icicle. So like it's actually like physical, a lot of like sharp icicle spike hitting her. But when she drops the icicle they kind of blow up, and like there were like smaller shots that shoots at the direction of the bird.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and when that happens, he's going to take off. That is too much for him, and the speedster looks like he's just going to cut and run at this point. I think takedown or Leshy, I'll give either one of you potential to react to this.
Yeah, well, I'll take a shot if I can get him. I know he moves ridiculously quickly, but is he quicker than a bullet? That's the question.
Let's see you do this. He is a supervillain, so he is epic, and you've got to work urgently. So you'll be rolling with urgency. That's epic versus epic. That means it cancels out 2d6. If you're willing to do some collateral damage, you could get yourself an extra die here and roll 3.
Yeah. Let's do a bit of extra collateral. So instead of a single shot, it'll just be a spray.
Nice.
A hose down. So I'm on 3d6.
Good luck.
Let's see how that goes. Okay, for the people at home, that was a 1, a 6, and a 3. So I have 1 full success.
You sure do. Boy, you guys just can't help but roll 6s. This is amazing. This is not like the PPTA games I roll where somebody doesn't sniff a 6 for, ages and ages. You guys are just good at what you do. So you do your straight 1 harm because you're not spending a maxim to pop off an ability. And I think what happens is snap, 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 snap. You hit, and there are bits of concrete that explode from each of the shots, and you clip him in the side, and he tumbles, slams into like the guardrail of the bit of overpass that you're on, tries to get up, run, trips, falls down, and just skids for a bit, and then it stops moving. Now this is the point where we have to have some drops, I think.
Is he out?
He appears to be out.
Nice.
Not sure how fast it will be before he recovers. So is there something you want to do to make sure he stays down?
I can just wrap him up in vines again, I think, or better, get the branches to like come out of the ground again and just.
Cool. I'm interested. That sounds good.
And I'll spend a maximum just to get that happen.
Cool.
Vines not strong enough, just branches, Evil Dead style.
All right. So each of you guys are going to get a. This is supposed to happen on the GM's turn at the end of every round. Oh, snap. I didn't do it enough. I thought it was at the end of defeating a foe, but it's all the time. Okay. I'll fix that. So I roll a d6 per foe or threat that was overcome this round. Okay, well, it says every round, then it says after the threat is overcome. So the threat was overcome. I was right. I'm just going to do 2d6. Here we go. Here are the drops. A 4 and a 3. They're both shields. Oh, that doesn't really help. Okay, you guys are buoyed up by the success of your attack, and you hear from the Sokovian police force that was in reserve in case you needed it. They're giving you guys attaboys, which would shield you if this thing continued, but you happen to defeat both threats in the same round. So now we transition to Fallout. There's default result of any successful action, 1 harm or provide 1 help. That's fine. We already did that. Let's talk about Fallout. So the first thing to deal with in any cutscene is the fallout from the previous crisis. The more collateral the city took, the greater the chances of a hero suffering some fallout from it that affects them personally. To deal with fallout, all the players follow these steps. Each player will roll 3d6 and add the results together. If their personal total is less than the current collateral, they will suffer some fallout. By the end of this fight, your collateral had raised to a 4. So let's go ahead and start with takedown. If you could roll 3d6 for me, you want to roll above of a 4.
I have a trope that may come into play here. So for this cutscene, I'd like to do the driven by a concern for other ordinary citizens. You take special care to make amends of any damage. Now, I think that's basically the cleanup crew. We didn't use the police force, so they're busy, roping off the area, police tape, etc. So the collateral isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Does that make some sort of sense?
That makes narrative sense to me, and I like it. And I think it's really cool that you have a power to do that. And that reduces the collateral by 1 per hero?
Yeah, that's what it says.
What?
We're all kicking in. Yeah.
Okay, for every hero who agrees to help out with some of the cleanup, you guys can reduce the collateral that each of your characters have to deal with for Fallout. So I will ask Leshy, do you help out with cleanup?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so everybody does. That's 3 heroes, so you can't fail. We don't even need to roll dice. There's no fallout for this. You guys had a perfect plan. You help out with cleanup. There's literally no fallout. It's not possible because 3's the lowest you could roll. There's no way you can roll under a 1. That's awesome. Clean. There's no reason to hit dice if we don't have to. That's awesome. So let's move to cutscenes. This is the downtime action in the Lumen game. Now this was a little unclear for me. So actually this morning I went and changed the trope part. So it says at one point you do a soft or you do a hard. The soft is row 19. The hard starts on row 23. But then it also says you may. So I'm not sure do you have to do one of these two, Mark, in other Lumen games, or is it?
I don't think this is in other Lumen games.
Okay.
I think this is new to this one. Yeah.
Okay, so a cutscene is you deal with Fallout, and you can do kick-ass soft things. We already know the cutscene mechanically for takedown. But for Sarah, you have a couple of tropes that you could hit here, and then Leshy does too. So let's talk about Sarah.
Yeah, so I think the difference is if you choose the hard option, you get to mark advancement.
Oh,
Exactly.
So I do have a question about the Arcane's hard option. It says there is a magical catastrophe at your sanctum. The GM picks your styles and powers in the next crisis. But the loadout say once I have like spend maximum to get style and some powers, I retain those power until I change styles. So if I pick the hard option now, does it just mean that the next time I spend maxing to get new power or style the GM choose, or do I have to like replace it immediately?
What that says to me is that if you choose the hard option, then the next crisis, I would choose your style. I would just choose it for the next crisis that happens.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Mona?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick that.
Neat. Let's talk about your sanctum then. That's somewhere in Sokovia?
Yeah, I think so. I think because we are an officially like superhero team, and I am probably like one of the premier like expert on mystic like magic stuff, since we don't have Doctor Strange here. So I think like I have a pretty nice like maybe government funded sanctum that's basically like a big library with some like alchemical lab. I don't know. It looks kind of like a knockoff of Sanctum Sanctorum, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there is a catastrophe back at the sanctum then. A magical catastrophe. What are you thinking that catastrophe might be? Is it potential creeping in of something outside of our reality? Is it a spell that Leah did that went awry? What do you think?
Yeah, I think like the two possibility is that I think like Doctor Strange is always dealing with like random like extra dimensional like creature trying to get into our dimension, or it could just be like Sori or Leah like I don't know, they accidentally break an experiment or like cast the wrong spell.
Yeah, I like that. Sweet. So here's what we do. We're gonna tie that magical catastrophe. You come back after and you find that Leah she'd been trying to contact someone back in heaven. Heaven in Marvel, because of Angela, is spelled without an A. It's still pronounced the same way, I guess, but that's a comic book, so who knows? She's trying to contact someone in heaven, and she accidentally opened a portal to another area. And you, Sarah, think that perhaps these two people who have been captured and are now imprisoned came from that little magical catastrophe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It sounds fun. It's very abbreviated. Let's switch over to Leshy. What are you interested in for your cutscene?
I think the hard option sounds fun for this as well. A bad news story turns on the public against me. You suffer a -1 die penalty on all pools in the next crisis until you rescue a bystander.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So sad. So sad. Okay, so
I'll be looking to rescue someone, and I think there's like, we have the official sanction of the government, and we're registered and everything. So like, on the surface, we're all good. There's probably some anti-mutant groups or anti-super groups that are still like mad about the whole city getting ripped out of the ground thing. And especially now that mutants are a brand new thing, they're like, these are not, this is not, Thor. This is not the Avengers. Like, this is some aberration. And they're saying essentially like Leshy is a villain. He just happens to be, on the leash of the government. But here's footage of him or them ripping up, the streets, and not have, and maybe like cutting in, footage from the original text.
Oh
saying,
no, bad
look at
faith
how he has,
journalism.
yeah,
so
no,
good.
no regard for actual human life and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, it starts with like a whisper campaign of somebody putting up on their blog that they got hurt, like they've got some wound or something,
Yeah.
and they say it was from Leshy. Oh, it's nasty. It's so bad. Oh, the Sokovians, they try to keep hush hush about it, right? They're pumping up that the Nova Guardians help to protect you guys from some vigilantes, but now there's other people. Oh, it's a big cover up, And yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I would see some stuff like anti-Leshy, anti-mutant stuff painted up on a few of the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And since you guys took hard options, you do get to
advance.
Yeah, you get to mark the advance, which is on row 7 and 8. You get to mark one of your advances, and you will notice that the advancement tracks are not equal for everyone. It's harder for the arcane to advance than it is for the accident, which I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Good stuff. So we just did like a round of action and downtime and all that stuff. The one thing it looks like you guys are working on it. Thank you so much. Maxims out there. I screwed up in not asking you to define your maxim.
Mm.
Oh yeah, intelligentsia, like from the She-Hulk. Yes.
Oh yeah,
assholes.
Yeah,
Hate those guys so much. Cool. Well, folks are finishing up maxims. Let's take our last little break, and then we'll come back and try to hit one more scene. So I know that you took the soft option for. Oh, by the way, somebody added soft and hard, and thank you for that. That's a really great idea. Paul Rivers, you just made this character keeper infinitely better. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. How do you recover Maxim is a thing. What does it say? Doesn't it say how to recover? Only way back from this rewrite. Oh, that's no. Okay. Spend your Maxim. There are other ways to recover Maxim. I know there are. We'll worry that out. But you did the cleanup. I'd like to see a different cutscene of takedown out of action. I'm really curious about who he is when he is not this cybernetic soldier.
I think you see him at home with his partner Momchil Polsky. And yeah, I think basically you see him out of his armor, without his helmet, sort of just in a skin tight sort of like bodysuit. And basically I think he's offloading on her, and he's like, Semenov, he's not out there on the streets. He doesn't know how hard it is. Sometimes, you can't tell good from bad. He's put this team together, but he doesn't realize the big picture, and I think she's just sort of nodding her head going, yes. So you'd see it too if you were out on the streets, what he's done to me.
She doesn't fight you on that because she doesn't have your lived experience. But what's your character's like regular ass name? Does he have one? Where is it? What would she call you?
Nick.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Nick. I will have a conversation with Dr. Semenov. I really feel like what you did with those two vigilantes is give the entire program an excellent, like our PR has been great.
Yeah,
I
well,
was
all of us tried hard to not get anybody hurt. It was an effort. We had to put in some extra time there to make sure nothing happened.
I know, and I really wish you'd let me release the footage we took of you guys cleaning up afterwards. I think it might help Leshy out.
Yeah, Leslie worked dead hard on that mission. As did Sarah. Yeah, I'm all for it, but Semenov, you'll have to run it by him.
I know. I thought about releasing it through, an anonymous drop, but I'm worried it'll get traced back to me.
Yeah.
Hey, have you thought about doing that daytime show interview that we put in your potential agenda items?
I'm not TV orientated. Do I have to?
Don't have to. But right now, with Leshy's public persona, we're going to do some recovery stuff before we put him on a daytime show. We really don't want them to have to deal with anything like from this Whisper campaign. And
Okay. A pre-record though, just in case I
course.
say something wrong. Don't want no live TV.
She comes over and like, honey, you would never. But you're right. We'll work up to live TV. Great. So,
Yeah. Helping children or something.
oh, that's good.
How about we get Leshy involved? A community farm or sort of allotments, something like that.
That's not a half bad idea. So as we cut to the next scene, Leshy, does Leshy use technology? Is Leshy like the woods person? I'm really curious.
Yeah, I think he still kind of integrates into whatever modernity they find themselves in. I think they definitely prefer to be outside, whether that's maybe there's like a rooftop garden that they've set up.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so there's a text from Momchul asking if you'd be interested in doing this daytime show. I think it's like Wake Up Novigrad, and it's so super local, and it's all recorded in Sokovian with English subtitles, but everybody's bilingual, and it's all like things that are happening, and they want to do a story on these vigilantes that you guys stopped. And Momchil says, "Yeah, you should do this. It will help you out."
And yeah, I think Leshy, kind of just thinks for a bit and takes a selfie and sends it back and just says, "You sure?" Because
this and Momshell sends back and she says, well, there have been those interesting stories about Swamp Thing, and people in America seem cool with that. That's her whole logic.
If you say so.
Nice. What about Sarah? Would Sarah like step down to be on a local Sokovian daytime show?
Yeah. I think I don't mind because like I mean I enjoy like the sorcerer supreme of the region treatment, but I don't actually mind like hanging out with like because I used to because Sarah is kind of a mercenary and she's used to like hanging out with Asgardians and Ravagers and the Guardians, and they are all like kind of salt of the earth kind of people in mentality. So
Nice. So you three, at one point you gather together. I assume they want you in your like your Nova Guardians unis. So take down. Maybe you got a little bit more color than you normally wear. Leshy, they've put a t-shirt or something on you, or some kind of something that has show you looking official. And you guys gather together, and there's the person with a little headset mic, and they're the person who's the production staff, and you're standing just to the side before you come out, and they've got a fairly attractive 20 something guy and girl, and they do their little pattern back and forth. They don't sit behind desks. It's very the talk kind of thing, where they're sitting at chairs that are facing the audience in a like gentle semicircle, and there's pictures of Sokovia in the background of like Novigrad live feed, and there maybe even a little Today Show action of like they've got gated off areas where there are lots of fans who stand out there with signs, and there's some guys doing interviews in Sokovia, and then some people are like it's a mishmash of like English of back and forth between Sokovia and English and the like as they're interviewing people, and that guy brings up and shows his child, and there's one person who's actually got Leshy cosplay on, like these bad looking vines and stuff. And then you guys are brought out, and it's a live audience thing, and it's pre-recorded, but they're trying to make it look live, and they do some really softball questions. It's very low stakes, no hard questions whatsoever. But then we're gonna say that there's a guy by the let's see, I think I'm trying to think of like cool Slavic, interesting, pithy names for the two hosts. Let's see. I think the girl will call. I keep looking at other names and trying to like. Okay, hold on. Cool. All right, Dimitri and Mila. There we go. Thank you, Google. You are good. And Dimitri asks you a question, Leshy, about your work in the protests that are going on against a power plant that's outside of Novigrad, that they've been dumping some pollutants in the water. And Mila, her face tightens for a little bit, and you realize this, like, he's just slipped this in, maybe because he's passionate about it, maybe because it's a trap. He's all smiles when he asks you about the Gobarev power plant and the protests that are going on. What do you do, Leshy?
I think Leshy's quiet for a little while, and when they talk, it's like wind and tree, like branches snapping. It's like weird, kind of like hollow woodwind kind of sound, and they say if it were my decision, I would be there, not only protesting but ensuring the safety and preservation of Segovia. But I work for the people now, and if the people decide that I am to prevent bandits from being murdered, then that is my role.
Nice. Oh, that's good. There's a moment where we see Dr. Simarov, who's in the control room of the show, and he was ready to like cut the feed, like not even record your answer, but this is no, it's not live, and he pauses, and you give the nice, just perfectly, just great. It's awesome, and he relaxes. There's a moment where he had the finger on the button, like, and he relaxes, and then what? what? Outside, you guys are all sitting in front of the audience, and you hear a low rumble, and then suddenly from behind you, this laser cuts through the screen behind and sears, cutting across. It's like above everyone's heads, but you hear things popping, exploding, the lights start to flicker, and then boom, the wall bursts in. And there's a man who's punched the wall. He is, well, I mean, this is the face claim I would use. He's built like this. For old wrestling fans, this is Lex Luger in his prime. For all non-wrestling fans, this guy's probably done a lot of steroids, you think, maybe, who knows? But he is freaking huge. He has this stupid long yellow cape that just flies off, and an actual nuclear fallout symbol on his giant belt buckle. And he yells, "You three call yourselves guardians. You defeated the weakest members of my team, the Squadron Supreme, and I am here to defeat you." That will be our like cliffhanger for the end of this session, as you are now facing Hyperion.
Of course.
Yes.
Love it.
So now Hyperion has revealed himself. I guess in answer to your comment earlier, long ago, you're fighting Wonder Woman. No, you're fighting Warrior Woman. Squadron Supreme was like maybe started as a joke. It was basically Marvel doing a riff on JLA, but they've actually had some pretty interesting stories, and their characters have been villains and heroes, and basically whichever writer wants to tackle it. But Hyperion is generally universally a dick. Like, I think he's always an ass.
So he's Superman but a jerk.
Yep. He's very oh shoot.
Homelander.
Homelander. Thank you. He's very Homelander.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's very Homelander. But Zarda is the name of Zarda Shelton is the Warrior Woman or the Wonder Woman analog, and the Blur is their speedster. And I thought it'd be fun to fight the Squadron Supreme because you guys are amazing.
Nice.
So let's go to is there a post game? I don't think there's end of session stuff, right? The advancement comes from taking a hard choice on tropes. Is there anything else you can get an advance from? I'll check.
There's something about being taken out.
Yeah, if your hero falls or if you suffer fallout.
At the end of a cutscene, players get an opportunity to advance their hero by raising their attributes or gaining new powers. Level of advancement on the track or your origin. Clear and pick. Okay. For each time you suffer any fallout, you get to check in advance. For each time your hero falls, you get to check in advance. And each time you choose your trope's hard option. So we have 2 advances marked. And that's it. Yeah, that's it for the thing. So let's go to stars and wishes. I'd like to start with wishes. So we can end with stars. Wishes, twofold here. You can either say, I wish that I could explore this part of my character or the powers of the rule set in our next session. So wish of a thing you'd like to happen, or wish could easily be, I'm still a little confused about X or Y, or can you add blah to the character keeper, that kind of stuff. Anything mechanically that will make the second session easier for you can be in your wishes. Who'd like to go first with wishes?
Yeah, actually, I do have a few things I'm not clear about.
Okay.
Like for example, some of the powers mention something called help. What does help mean?
Help.
I mean, because something like shield is pretty self-explanatory, like it observes damage, right? But what does help do?
Hold on, it's mentioned a bunch of times. So let me try to go back to when it's originally help. It's in like every single
Yeah.
Dang, what does help actually do?
Because I have a power that can give help to foes and then do something to them.
Yeah, a lot of power generates
Oh,
help, but I have no idea what it does.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's a great question. Help. I'm looking in the PDF and I'm searching on help. If you want to help another hero in this way, no, it just doesn't actually. So what can the pulse do to help? That's teamwork related. You help them. When you roll against threats, you help them. Roll against foes, you harm them. When you roll against threats, you help them. It's almost the same thing in most cases.
So foes are like supervillains. Threats are like an avalanche or the power main exploding or whatever. So help is like damage to threats by like um, making them better.
Yes, that's exactly what I think he's trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have Call of the Wild, which provides one help to all threats, and then all foes must move away. And I originally read that as like I helped them somehow and moved them away, but it sounds like it
would have been
mitigates
help.
the threats. Yeah.
Yep. So what
Okay,
that
cool.
power means is it's better for affecting threats. For +1 help means that you take the threat down from its score more quickly.
Yeah.
Does that help, Mona?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah. It's just a weird way to say damage to threats.
It's weird, but I think
Makes
differentiating
sense.
between doing harm to people who need help. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm used to, but I kind of see the logic to it. So okay. Mona, did you have any other wishes?
Yeah, no, not particular. I just want to like. I think we are still getting used to this system, so yeah, I think I just want to see how it works.
Okay, I agree. Thank you very much, Mona. Paul, do you have any wishes?
Yeah, sort of building on what Mona said, I'd actually like to see a threat. Maybe this building that Hyperion lands on starts to sort of crumble, maybe just weighs a lot. And there's some bystanders that we have to deal with a threat. I think it's quite a cool multi sort of prong attack against the party. You've got a baddie, but you've also got a threat. Maybe, or however you want to spin it, Rich.
Oh no, you read my mind, Paul. I set this up at the daytime talk show, so there was a ton of people who were going to be threatened. So help as a threat is 100% on the table. Like we're gonna open with this jackass of Hyperion attacking you guys, not caring about the people he hurts. Yeah, for sure. Anything else, Paul?
No, the system it takes a little bit, but I think you've fully explained it, Rich, or
all the missing steps. Mark helped me.
So no, it's there is some logic there, and I think I'm getting it.
Good. Mark, what about you? Any wishes?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Sokovia is different from Manhattan. It's really fun to kind of explore that end of things. And yeah, it's the system is interesting to get into. I'm eager to like exercise it more. I've never played a Nova game or Nova. Or is it Nova?
It's Lumen is
game.
what the system.
Yeah, Nova is the actual game. Yeah. I've never played it. I've read them a bunch. I've written one, but I've never got a chance to play it.
You're one of those designers.
Yeah, I sure am. Yeah.
You played enough to where I think you can picture the shape of it, but it is different.
For sure.
Like seeing it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see it in action. I have a rules question, but I can save that for later.
Oh, okay. Cool. Mark, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars.
Nice. I had a lot of fun. I really I always enjoy seeing other people's superheroes and stuff because they're always they're new to me and they're not what I would think of. And it's great to see not only their concepts, even if it's an established hero or a new hero, but then like how the random things that people chose fit together into a team. That's always a cool dynamic to explore. So I'm really enjoying that part.
Me too.
The startup fight was like a super fun setup. I really enjoyed sort of getting to see everyone's you know everyone's role and how they worked that in the first fight. That's a lot of fun. And yeah, and enjoying the getting the sort of the life bits, the um what do they call them, side scenes,
Cutscene things.
the cutscenes, and like the Sokovia or wake up Novagard.
Wake up, Novigrad!
Novagard, wake up. That's super fun to see. So yeah, I'm just excited to play with it some more and see what happens.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Mark, Paul, what about you? Any stars you wanted to share?
Yeah. Big shout out to you, Rich, for creating a very different sort of MCU setting. Very rich, even from the onset. Very nice to see. Mark, for the extra rules help. It was appreciated at all stages, and a cool character. And Mona, I didn't really know anything about this MCU character you brought along, and you really explained it really, really well. Gave me a good heads up on the character, and now I can go away and you painted it in such a cool picture that I may indeed read that set of comics. So thank you very much.
I think it's Angela, Queen of Hell, and it's like a 6 or 7 issue. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be an
yeah.
ongoing, and then yeah, it's worth it. It's pretty neat.
I think the two main one is that there's the Queen of Hell, and then there's an earlier one. I think it's called Asgardian's Assassin.
Ooh, that sounds neat.
I think that's the two main one with like Angela and Sarah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you. Mona, did you have any stars?
Yeah, I really like the idea of setting it in Scovia because apart from like avoiding any like real life geopolitics, it's just like this is a city that actually like it appears in the MCU. It's like it's original to MCU, but its name keeps appearing, but its only actual function is to get smashed by Ultron. So I think it's really nice that we are bringing it back and actually doing something with it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy at the suggestion, Mark. It was a stroke of genius, and I enjoy the idea. I definitely want to highlight some aspects to differentiate Sokovia. I mean, at this point, we have a daytime show, and we have a statue of Quicksilver. But I want to like, at some point, this is my wish. At some point next session, maybe we all like paint the scene with a few interesting landmarks or bits about Novigrad and Sokovia. Thank you all so much for giving this a shot. I've really enjoyed this. I created the character keeper, then went off and did other games, and then circled back to Lumen and said, "Oh man, I hope this works." And leading into the video gaminess makes it a little easier conversationally. I just got to find that way of easily balancing the drops, but I think I've got some ideas there. Cool. Yeah. Thank you all so much for playing, and with that, we'll bring the recording to a close.